Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Weekend Stock Talk. Today is November 11th, and we are getting through November as we expected. Here is SPY, or the S&P 500, on the yearly chart. Glad to see everyone back. Welcome back to the channel. For those who are new, hopefully you enjoy Stock Talks on weekends. Here's S&P 500, and here we go. We ended Friday with this sort of candle, and to the naked eye, people might think, well, this is sort of like a reversal candle, and now we're going to go back to the upside. Well, that's not really the case, and the thing about this is we've had a pretty good run, right? So we've had news items behind us, as we've discussed before. Earnings are past us. That was a relief, and then we've had elections come and go. That should be a relief, and we've had the relief run. What's next to look forward to? Would it be the G20 summit or a trade deal with China or whatnot? I mean, we'll have to see. But at the same time, you have to keep notice that, we can certainly come on down from here. So here's the resistance area, and we talked about this resistance area of around 281.05. And this was the peak of that candle over here. So that was the resistance, and now we're moving on lower. Now the question, and the big question here, is where can we move towards? And that's a good question, because no one knows for certain. You can ask anyone and they can just make a prediction, but no one knows for certain where we will find that base support. Could it be between my two support lines over here? It could, right? Could it be a complete fill of this gap area? It could, but we will really have to monitor that intraday. So my near-term outlook, in my opinion, is that we should be fluctuating lower before we go higher. Okay, so your low targets is around, here's your support level 271.81, here's your next support level 269.49. Anything below that, and we will have to reevaluate our scenarios in terms of whether we will retest the previous lows of this year or make new lows. Here's actually the lows of this year, 250, 292, or make newer lows. We'll have to see when we get there, but right now it seems like, what's there left for the markets to make a, good comeback or a relief? There's not that much news items that, that's left. So, for now, moving this lower. Now, here's our uppermost target, 286.71. Can we hit that, let's say, by the end of the year? And I think we can by the end of the year. So you guys can see, one part is my immediate term outlook. My second part is a medium-term outlook. For those of the members, they know both of my outlooks way ahead of time, and also they also know my long-term outlook from the market. So keep all that in mind. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and in my opinion, we're in a very critical place. So let's take a look at, not commodities just yet, but let's look at TVIX for volatility. So volatility, you can see that, we're holding over the 50-period moving average, and now we're bouncing higher. So I would look for this one to move to the upside again. Where are we going to find resistance? We really have to correlate that with the S&P 500, right? Whether we're going to get to resistance or not. But this should be pushing higher back to the upside. Just note that tomorrow, Veterans Day, is bond markets are closed, but equity markets are open. So we will see, some of this pan out. So we might have a light volume day. So we might not get that big drop tomorrow. I mean, we might, but we might be a little bit more stagnant than usual, and that wouldn't be unusual on a holiday. That is. Crude oil, 4/CL. So crude oil, now you can see it has fallen back to my next support line, 58.93. So crude oil, we're really here, in my opinion, looking for some sort of support area around either at this line, guys. And once again, you guys know, I don't put these lines in after the fact. These lines haven't been in here for weeks and weeks on end, right? So if you guys want to put in accurate technical lines, how do you do technical charts? How do you enter it? You want to chat with me during the trading day? Be sure to check out the course in the description box down below. I've got a lot of people who have signed up already, and they've certainly benefited. People, whether you're scalping, whether you're taking a long position, they've made thousands already off of that, which is only a small portion of the cost of the course. That's why it's useful. We're looking for a support area from here on down to around 56.76. You know, we have another support line. This upper higher low support line, trend line, is a very important trend line and is likely to hold at some point, as we are still significantly overstretched below the 20 period moving average. So I would be looking for a bounce from here, where we are right now, to back down here. So can crude oil move down a little bit lower? Yes, it can, but we're looking for a bounce at this point. That's just how it is. Natural gas. So we talked about natural gas in terms of an uptrend, right? A pretty bullish uptrend. And the thing about this is, you know, people think about natural gas, and when we had this push up last week, right? This was on Monday, I believe. People thought, man, what a great price to go into inverse natural gas. And this thought process is lopsided. It's not about what a great price to go into the inverse because natural gas is going so high. You have to look at the trend, and the trend for natural gas is bullish. So if you go into inverse, you're guessing at a bottom. And at that point, guessing is not the right way to go. 9 out of 10 times when you guess at a bottom, you're not going to get the bottom. So anyways, my point here is that you can see that we made another effort and go on Friday back up, right? So the big picture here is, I want to take you guys to the 3-year weekly chart, is that we've gapped up and we've hit resistance, 3.75. Now, this is the area in which it's more harder to determine whether you should enter long or short, because now we're at a resistance area and it's more dangerous at this area. Now, when the futures markets open tonight, Sunday, can it gap higher again? Of course it can, right? That's one way we can move over the resistance. At the same time here, it can also fluctuate at this area and then possibly move lower in the next few days. So here, now that we've gotten this week out of the way, can't do anything with natural gas in mind. If I had to pick a position, obviously, I would say natural gas is going to continue to move higher, just based off of the trend. So you guys know. That's the trend, and you always have to follow the trend in the markets. That's just how it is. Okay, gold futures. Gold futures is in a bit of trouble. For a technical trader, you would enter at the close of the market day, which was around 1210.3. Okay, for a technical trader into gold, but because it went to my support line. Okay, the problem with this chart is, can you see how these red candles are pushing us lower? Red, 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 and then down. Okay, so that momentum all these days were telling us that we're going to being pushed down and lower. And look for this one, for the next support area to be 1197. Should we drop below that area? And then of course 1179.6. But by then, gold is off my books, and like I told the members, if we begin dropping below this level, all of this was a fake out. Okay, all of this was a fake out or a major big bear flag pattern that is likely to play out to the downside at that point. So this is just a wait and see scenario for me, but nothing doing for gold at the moment. Okay, so I've got a couple of comments from the past videos. I want to thank everyone. So hi Kevin, I have a question for you. Yeah, I see you don't post your videos every day. So what about members in the club? So the club I think you're referring to is the Discord group, as well as the trading lessons the video lessons that I personally teach. So the members, and like I told you, the members in the chat group communicate with me daily, whether it's during the trading day, whether something interesting pops up, and they receive nearly daily, but not all the time. But when important trends arise, or if I have important factor that I want to show the members, I put it into a video newsletter. So it's similar to a stock talk. It's a nice complete package with more in-depth analysis than what we do here. That's what I do for the members, and they receive that and they watch it. So it's a back and forth communication. It's very nice, I think. So thank you for your comment. Rizwan, please break down TUR. Turkish emerging markets already crashed. Seems like upside. So emerging markets. Okay, so here's the deal about emerging markets. So as we've known from this year, emerging markets have pretty much collapsed under its own weight. And the problem here is whether the global slowdown will come to U.S. shores. And we've already seen some of it coming with the FANG stocks. We were seeing some of it developing into our market, like, you know, kind of bleeding into our markets right now, right? We're looking at the estimate. So all the, it's coming through. And here's emerging markets. So here's Turkey, and you can see this massive decline followed by we're moving up. So again, I think this one looks good for now. But you have to set a stop loss. You know, you have to set a stop loss for this one because, you know, you can take a look at this, and the problem is, you know, if we drop all of a sudden or gap down, it could be significant, and or, you know, so I think this one is on a temporary uptrend, but at what point will it start dropping, right? That's a big question, and hence, you know, I think this one short term might be okay, long term, be very careful. Thank you for your ticker, Rizwan. NEPT I bought for 350 and plan to sell it as a swing trade. 350. Okay, so let's see. Earnings, that's on 11/13, so that's in 2 days. So I think we talked about this one, have we? So it seems like you can see that on earnings. It doesn't really do too much on earnings day, but then we have a big reaction after earnings. That's the one that you want to be cautious of. So a couple of days after earnings, you want to keep in mind what's going on here. So how do we go into this chart? I think, in my opinion, while I like this chart, we have to wait for earnings to play out. That's just how it is. And you got in at 350. You know, it's a tough position because earnings is in 2 days, and anything can happen next week for this stock. It can move lower, it can move higher. It needs to hold over the 200 period moving average. That's for sure. That's for certain. That's 329. The question is, since you got it at 350, are you willing to take that risk all the way back down to 329? That's a 7% drop. Are you willing to make that sacrifice in order for this to play out? Right? So be careful on this one as well. Thank you for your comment. Evan, let's take a look at your comment. EDC. EDC, is it this emerging markets as well? So this is emerging markets, and so you see this decline, right? You can't do anything with this chart. I mean, if you're shorting this, I think you're fine. If you're going long on this, nothing on this trend. Look how well defined the 50 period moving average has been acting as a resistance. How well defined is this? Can't get better than that, right? So here, can't do anything with this chart. Look for this one to move lower in the long term. So emerging markets, yikes. JC, Jason, Austin, Prashant, Eric, MNHS. Guys, thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching these videos as always. Love to see you all here. And then we'll tackle one more comment here. And I think it was a comment on Amazon. Let's take a look at Amazon. So this was 3 days ago. I'm not sure if I talked about this. So you shorted Amazon. Yeah, Amazon. Look at Amazon. We've had a massive uprun. And if the NQs or SPY does collapse, Amazon's definitely going to be one of the, you know, playing a portion of that part leading on its way down. I think we've made an uprun, quite a bit of an uprun, and it's now, in my opinion, likely to move to the downside. So I think you're good. That's my opinion, of course, but you know, for short term, I think you're good on that. Good trade. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I will see you guys on the weekday as always. Enjoy your weekend, Sunday, and have a good trading day tomorrow. See you later.